Hi guys, this is Ben here from UCC and I'm here to talk to you for a little bit about the national protest against fees on November the 16th. To start with, here you can see a picture of Rory Quinn, the current Minister for Education, signing a pledge. This pledge was signed in the lead up to the last election, saying that if the Labour Party got into government, they would not increase tuition fees at all and they would protect any cuts to the grant in the next budget. Now over the last number of months we've been in touch with all government TDs and not a single one of them has been willing to stand over the fact that the tuition fees won't go up. So tuition fees are on the agenda for this next budget. Now the reason for this is that the IMF called for almost €4 billion worth of cuts in this next budget. Now one of the top 3 government sectors for expenditure is education. And of that education budget, 1.6 billion is dedicated towards higher education. While that might sound like a lot, 70% of that is dedicated in advance to wages, which can't be touched because of the co-pack agreement. So only 460 million of that budget is for education in general. Now that can't be touched, that's the bare minimum. They can't cut that any further. So for any cuts to education to happen, it has to be met by an increase in fees, and that is what looks likely to happen. This last budget led to a cut to the grant, which saw students lose up to 66% of their grant, almost €4,000. These students were living on the breadline as it was. They couldn't afford that cut and they can't afford any more. It's very important that we let the government know that this is a red line issue, that education cannot be cut. Now, people are talking about a cut of an increase of €1,000. As things stand, 1 in 4 UCC students rarely or never has enough money to meet their daily needs. With even a small increase of less than €1,000, this figure would rise to 1 in 3. That means next time you go in, sit down in a lab, a classroom or a tutorial, and you sit next to 2 of your friends, you can look to your left and look to your right, and 1 of the 3 of you will not have enough money to meet your needs next year in college. This could mean not enough money to pay rent, not enough money to pay for food, or not enough money to pay for your student services charge. As well as that, €1,000 is enough to buy 4 years worth of college dinners. At a tenner for 4 dinners for 26 weeks in a year, that's an entire degree's worth of food lost as a result of 1 cut in this budget if we let it happen. Very important that we don't. So what can you do? To start with, it's really important that everybody logs on to www.tellyourtd.com. When you're on it, let it know what constituency you're in, find out who your local TDs are, and use it to send them a letter or a tweet letting them know that you won't stand for any cuts to third level education. And not just you, make sure everyone else does it as well. Make sure it's you, your brother, your sister, your parents, your grandparents. Anyone with a vote has to get out, be loud, and let the government know that we can't take any more cuts. As well as that, what's very important is that November 16th we get as many students in the streets of Dublin as we can. We're going to run buses from UCC to Dublin, and we're going to pack the streets of the capital. We're going to have every student tell the government in a loud voice that we will not stand for these cuts. As well as that, we're going to have a sleep out that night. So thousands of students will bring tents up and sleep out in Molesworth Street to protest against what the government is doing. And to let the media know that this is not going to be accepted and we won't let this happen. Inside the SU, we're going to do everything we can for you. So send us an email, drop into the building. We will facilitate every bit of protest we can. We'll do everything in our power. But what's most important is that you get involved. That every student watching this picks up the phone, logs on to tellyourtd.com and lets the government know in no uncertain terms that we won't stand for this.